Good morning and namaste. Welcome to Yoga with Vic. And we are going to practice one pose that I'm sure you all know. Downward facing dog, downward dog, down dog, depending on how much faster we cue with just don't dog. Because downward facing dog doesn't give us time to really cue sometimes when we're doing the class. Anyway, this is Adho Mukha Svanasana in Sanskrit. I guess you're all familiar with it. But for those who are not, I normally classify it as a relaxing pose, and you might think this is not relaxing at all, and it's not at the beginning. It feels a bit awkward, and once you get used to it, it just becomes a really nice pose. And when you're doing a very, very intense flow, and you come to downward dog, it's like, oh, so good to be here. So do not despair. At the beginning, you might feel awkward. You might just be adjusting all the time. You might have to gain a little bit of strength on the upper body. I think that's the most challenging. And also because you're going to stretch a lot the back body of the legs. So at the beginning, you might feel a bit awkward, but believe me, it'll be really good in the end, and you would love the pose. It is, as I said, is one of the basic poses of yoga. You always come back to it at some point. You always go through it in all these sun salutations. It is always there. So it's very important that you get it right. Again, your body is your body. We all have different bodies, so it doesn't have to look anything like my downward dog. We all have different flexibility. We all have different bone structure. We all feel different. I mean, my downward dog in the morning might feel completely different to the one in the evening. And one day I might be tired and I might be just completely bending my knees. So please always adjust to what you feel like today and do it your way. So to come back in downward dog, you can start, forwards, or you can start kneeling, whatever works for you, or whatever you are, or maybe you're just doing some sun salutations, so you're coming from a forward fold and a plank. Anyway, whatever you are, you're going to put your hands a bit wider than shoulder distance. The index finger will be kind of looking straight. Open your fingers really, really well and get a very, very strong grip. Imagine you're just saving something that you don't want anybody to see. I mean, if I go like this, I would not be able to really lift your finger. So very, very strong hands. That is the most important thing. Then take your toes, start lifting your hips, and start putting your hip up to the sky with a little bit of an anterior tilt of the hip. That means stick your bum up. So you're gonna go like this. It's morning time, so I'm not very warm. So let me see you. So we're going to be like this, and then I said, try to reach with your heels on the floor. It is not necessary. Doesn't mean that if you don't touch, you're not achieving it. Start pedaling. Important thing, push yourself towards the back. Imagine you've got your best friend actually pushing you. Hopefully not, because they might hurt you. But that's the idea. You've got a little tiny thread that is really pushing you up to the ceiling, or to the sky in this case. So remember, the shoulders not locked, so they should not go frontal like this, always like this. The edge of the elbow should not look to the front, because otherwise you're hyperextending. So like this, so soft elbows, again soft knees, and start pedaling. And start breathing. You can also breathe through the mouth if you have a lot of tension, to release the tension. You can do a lion's breath, sticking your tongue up. If there's a lot of tension, you're a bit upset today. Anyway, just be there. As I said, elbows soft, pushing, 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 tail up. This is a great pose. I mean, it really strengthens your upper body, and that will prevent osteoporosis, which is definitely very important in some stages of our life. It actually enhances the strength also in the wrist, well, all over the arms, honestly, forearms, shoulders, everywhere. It really opens up the back of the legs, so the hamstrings. You will feel that if you're a bit tired in the morning, you're gonna feel it talking to you. And it also helps those little bones here on the feet and the ankles and the arches. So if you actually have a flat foot, flat sole, this really helps because you're really stretching that part too. Or all these plantar fasciitis, all these things that we have nowadays, it really helps. So yeah, I love this pose. I could be here forever. Maybe you're not at the beginning and you're thinking, what on earth, what am I doing here? But anyway, remember those little nuances. Come back to this little tutorial every time you have doubts about it. And then when you want to come back, just go back, knees on the floor, and tuck your toes. Come to your knees. Give yourself a big smile, a big sigh. And remember, it was very important. We were in this pose, shoulders away from ears. So do not shrug. Forgot to tell you. So not shrugging here. You should be able to say yes and no. Yeah. So this is always compulsory in yoga. There's always a space, because if you're like this, you're not really helping yourself. So give yourself some space in there. Oh, it's so good. For me, it's a relaxing pose. It might not be for you. Oh, thank you so much. See you in the next one. Namaste.